What is up, guys? PieMuffin here, and we are back with some more Trails of Cold Steel. Once again, showing the title screen, simply because you can see we have a new character with us here. Laura is now sitting on the train with us, which makes sense. Because of where we're at in the story, Laura is now with us. Very interesting that the characters that kind of leave our group just kind of stay here, so I'm assuming, like, as we progress and we get to use more of the other characters for the main story, that they will just appear here on the train with everybody else. But we're going to go ahead and get started and continue in our Celdic adventures, which we should be done for the first day. I believe the last thing we had to do was meet up with instructor. Yep. Oh! You can actually fast travel. I didn't even realize. Oh, okay, but you can only do it from the so it's not like you can't fast travel anywhere you've been. It's literally just to the, like, main points of interest. Okay. That'll change in later games because they'll let you have more of a, because some areas are very long, like there'll be 3 or 4 sections to, like, a route. So instead of making you walk back to all of those, you can just fast travel to the start of the area. Don't give crap. The one paid. What's going on? Sounds like something's happening over at the market. There appears to be some manner of dispute occurring. I wonder what's up. Should we go take a look? Yeah, let's go and see. Guess we're not meeting up with Sarah yet. Don't give me that crap. This is my spot. I paid for it, so it's mine. I'm the one who paid for this spot. Look, I've even got the permit for it, so stop lying to me in Vamoose. Vamoose, huh? May I ask what the problem is? Perhaps we can help in some way. There seems to be question over which of these two gentlemen gets control of this area to set up his stall. The young merchant over there is a local, while the merchant wearing the suit is from the capital. So they're both claiming the same spot. How odd. Permits for the market are issued by the province's ruling lord. Oh, so for Celdic that would be... Ah! This isn't good. We must stop them. Who are you? Unhand me at once! I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but violence isn't going to solve anything. You both need to calm yourselves. You've been worked into a rage. Ugh. Bah! What are you, high schoolers? This has nothing to do with you meddling kids. Scooby-Doo? We're having a mature discussion here, and I'll thank you not to interfere. Mature? Since when has grabbing someone by the neck been considered mature? If you truly intended to have a mature discussion, perhaps you should try acting more like adults. What did you say to me? We're students from Thor's military academy. We're currently visiting this town on a field study. And while we're not yet formal members of the army, I'm afraid we cannot simply walk by and ignore a fight in such a public place. A military academy? So there are a bunch of soldiers in training. What in Eidos' name is happening here? Oh, now look what you've done. Manager Otto. Look what we've done. I've been filled in on what happened. I understand both of you have a permit for the same stall, is that correct? Yeah! And both permits expire at the same time, too. What's the meaning of this? I understand your concerns, but fighting over it here is greatly inconveniencing the other customers. I'll be happy to discuss the matter in private, but I'll need to ask you both to put your differences aside until it's resolved. Okay. I guess. Well, that was a close one. It seemed like everything's gonna be fine now, though. Yeah, I guess he's the guy in charge. I really appreciate the 4 of you stepping in to help defuse the situation. Though I suppose I should expect no less from the infamous Class 7 I've heard so much about. Of course. Oh? How do you know about Class 7? My name is Otto. I'm the manager of the Celdic Grand Market. I have some things to discuss with you. If you'd be so kind as to come along, I'll treat you to some tea. Rain gets tea all the time whenever he has to talk to somebody. How nice. Although I suppose that's just, like, natural. Well, one of them seems happy and the other seems less than happy. So you were responsible for choosing our assignments? Indeed, Principal Van Dyke? Like, how do you say that? I would say, I guess Van Dyke. Principal Van Dyke is an old friend of mine, you see. He asked me to personally select a few tasks that you might be able to complete. Well, that was nice of him. We appreciate your consideration as well. Oh, it was no trouble at all. Likewise, I'm grateful to you for taking some troublesome tasks off my hands. And I can't thank you enough for your help with the market. If you hadn't been there, I imagine someone would have wound up getting hurt. I'm just glad we got there when we did. So both merchants will be taking turns using the same stall at the front of the market? That's right, both of their permits are genuine, but their merchandise and temperaments don't lend themselves to sharing a space, okay? Eventually, they agreed to a compromise where they would each make use of the front stall on alternate weeks, okay? That's like whole weeks, though. That's kind of rough. That means there's an entire week where one of them is not making any sales. The other stall we reserved is near the back of the... Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, literally what I was just saying. The other stall we reserved is near the back of the market, however, so whoever's relegated there will see far lower sales numbers. Yeah, of course, because when you first enter the market, the first stall you see is the one you're going to look at first. That's better than nothing, I guess, but still really unfortunate. I must admit, I do find this whole matter rather perplexing. To my knowledge, the issuing of market permits is the sole responsibility of each province's ruling lord. For a mistake such as this to have been made in the first place raises some rather unpleasant questions. That's true, it's a lord's duty to control the flow of goods. If he can't handle it, the local economy could really suffer. Quite right. Ordinarily, that responsibility would fall upon the Duke's household. The Duke? The Karuzan province is ruled by Duke Alberea, one of the four most powerful nobles in the entire country. But lately, the situation surrounding the Duke's household has been getting a bit complicated. Complicated? A few months ago, he increased the sales tax of our market rather significantly. And with a larger percentage of their profits being taken from them, the merchants have began to get rather desperate. Fights like the one you saw earlier are becoming more and more commonplace. So, just a simple case of, you know, people, I guess, higher up in society taxing the lower people just because they can. Sales tax is something which should not be raised without careful consideration. History has shown us how damaging such actions can be. I've never heard of anything like that happening in the capital. Have you tried raising objections to the increase? Of course, I've even gone to Berryhard numerous times to petition the Duke personally, but they always just drive me away at the gate without listening to a word I have to say. This has been going on for roughly 2 months now. Oh boy. If that's the case, the mix-up with the permits may be more than just an accident. Are you suggesting they might be getting careless when dealing with the market, or maybe they're deliberately trying to cause problems? I don't think it's a good idea to jump to conclusions, but I will say that before all this began, soldiers in the guardhouse absolutely would have intervened in a scuffle like that. Yeah, it's true. They nowhere to be seen. Unlike the Imperial Army, a provincial army's main priority is maintaining the status quo throughout their territory. So mediating arguments which threaten that status quo should absolutely fall within the scope of their duties. Correct. It seems that unless we accept this tax increase, they intend to turn a blind eye to the market. The commanding officer at the guardhouse has even made comments suggesting as much. That's not right at all. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking about matters like this with you. This is strictly an internal affair to be dealt with among us merchants. You have no reason to concern yourselves with it. You need to be focused on your field study. And I'll have a new list of tasks for you tomorrow morning as well. You will? So you're asked to prepare some for each day of our visit then. That's right. I've got a few difficult ones in mind too, but I'm sure you're up for them. Or at least I hope you are. Don't worry, we are. We'll do our very best to meet your expectations. As we've seen in the first 2 arcs of the game, well, so far, obviously, we haven't finished the Crossbell arc yet. There's a lot that kind of happens with, you know, just politics with everything. I feel like it wasn't as heavy as it is here, like back in Liberl, because obviously there weren't like multiple governing heads of each area. It was really just like, okay, the queen is in charge, and that was pretty much it. But in Crossbell, it got a little weird because you did have a lot of people who were just kind of, you know, working in that role. But, yeah, I guess for now is just, let's return to the inn, finally. We are starting to learn kind of the issues that kind of exist here in Erebonia, though. That all sounds really unfair. Yeah, I agree. Provincial lords have the duty and the right to decide upon and collect taxes in the regions they control. And as long as that remains the case, there's not really much the general populace can do to stand up against them. I'm reluctant to comment on how others choose to rule their own territories, but harassing one's people like this seems clearly inappropriate. I've heard many rumors about the current head of House Albarea. The current head is Eustace's dad, right? So, couldn't we ask Eustace for some help here? I doubt there's anything he could do. Among the nobility, decisions made by the head of the house are absolute. You seem to know a lot, Rien. And since the Albareas represent one of the 4 great houses, that old tradition is absolutely guaranteed to be alive and well. The Emperor himself is probably the only one with more power than the heads of the 4 great houses. Guess that's a no then. I see you're all busy mulling things over. Excellent, excellent. Hi, Sarah. Instructor Sarah? What brings you here? I figured it was about time for me to get going. Group B is not getting anything done as expected, so I'm off to help sort them out. What? You're going to see Group B now? The town of Parm is a considerable distance from here. Now, you let me worry about that. You 4 are perfectly capable of looking after yourselves anyway, right? Put your heads together and think, and I'm certain you'll see what you need to do. Eidos be with you. I'll be looking forward to your report. Seems she knows more about what we're kind of talking about, or dealing with. I can't believe it. It's as though she knows exactly what's going on, even though she spent the whole day drinking at the inn. Can she read minds or something? I suggest we return to our room and rest for the night in any case. We still have our reports to write, so an early dinner seems wise. Yeah, you're right. I'm so tired. Me too. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep at the dinner table without even making it to my bed. Alright, well, I think that's, that for today's activities. Yeah, and we haven't fought anything since then, so I can't get any more Mira or anything. So yeah, let's just head back to the inn. Alright, so they lock up the area at night, makes sense, so that people's, you know, wares and stuff don't get messed with.
ごちそうさま。さすがに野菜とか新鮮で美味しかったね。
ああ、さすがに地のものの料理は違うな。
ライ麦を使ったパンもなかなかの美味だった。
こんな楽しみがあるなら特別実習も悪くないけど、今頃 B 班のエマたちはどうしてるのかしら。
Causing trouble, apparently.
そうだな。こんな風に一緒にテーブルを囲んではいなさそうだけど。
そうだね。本当、僕たち7組ってなんで集められたんだろうね。どうもアークスの適性だけが理由じゃない気がするんだけど。
It's a fair point.
それは間違いあるまい。それだけならば今日のような実習内容にはならぬだろうしな。
どうやら私たちにいろいろな経験をさせようとしてるみたいだけど。
Yeah, like even at first glance, it seems like their purpose is to kind of learn what goes on in their country as a whole. As being people who are enrolled in a military academy that will eventually serve in the army, you know, obviously it would be natural for them to kind of learn about, you know, what exactly they're going to be protecting. But it also seems like it's more than that.
どんな真意があるのかまでは現時点ではまだわからないわね。
そうだな。
あんまり深く考えずにやってみたら。どうやら何かを見つけようと少し焦ってるみたいだけど、まずは飛び込んでみないと立ち位置も見出せないわよ。
士官学院を志望した理由が同じというわけでもないだろうし。
Yeah, like you look at most of the people excuse me, you look at most of the people who are enrolled in the general studies classes, and most of them, you know, we assume anyway, are just simply like, okay, they enrolled here because they eventually want to serve in the army. But class 7 is picked from all walks of life. They're not all like, you know, kind of split like, oh, commoners, nobles, where, you know, most nobles most likely won't actually serve in the army themselves. They'll most likely go back to, you know, their ruling provinces, and then, you know, they're the ones that end up being in charge of kind of what happens in their own areas. Where you assume most of the people in the common classes just end up enrolling in the army once they graduate. But class 7, you know, very kind of different.
士官学院への志望理由。
その発想はなかったわね。
私の場合は単純だ。目標としている人物に近づくためといったところか。目標としてる人物それが誰かはこの場では控えておこう。アリサの方はどうだ？
That was very vague. You want to get closer to like someone you admire?
そうね。いろいろあるんだけど、自立したかったからかな。
Assert your
ちょっと
independence.
実家とうまくいってないのもあるし。
そうなのか。
その意味では僕は少数派なのかな。もともと士官学院とは全然違う進路を希望してたんだよね。
あら、そうなの？
確か音楽系の進路だったか？
ほうまあそこまで本気じゃなかったけど。リーンはどうなの？
That was abrupt.
そういえば今まで聞いたことなかったけど。
Yeah.
俺はそうだな。自分を見つけるためかもしれない。
え？
いや、別に大層な話じゃないんだ。あえて言葉にするならそんな感じというか。
いいじゃない、かっこよくて。自分を見つけるか。
あなたがそんなロマンチストだったなんて、ちょっと意外だったわね。
変なことを口走ったな。
Once again, Laura, like, analyzing Reen when he says stuff. So you want me to wake you up at 6 tomorrow, right? Yes, please. We only have until tomorrow evening, so we need to get an early start. We really appreciate it. Not a problem at all. Have a good night. Good night. Yep.
このままベッドに倒れ込みたいけど、そういうわけにもいかないわね。
Haha. She seems to have forgotten all about the room situation, and I'm not about to remind her.
リ
んどうしたんだ？
ン、迷いもあったが、やはり聞いておこう。
Oh?
そなた、どうして本気を出さない？
Oh?
そなたの剣、そして立ち筋、八葉一刀流に間違いないな。
There it is. 8 leaves, 1 blade. Another practitioner, although I guess it should have been pretty obvious at this point. So, Reen's style is the same as Colonel Richard, as Annalise, and as Arios.
剣戦、ユン・カーファイが起こした東方剣術の集大成とも言うべき流派。
Oh, and Cassius, of course.
開伝に至った者は断りに通ずる達人として剣聖とも呼ばれるという。
詳しいんだな。帝国ではほとんど知られていない流派のはずなんだけど。
我がアルゼード流は古流ながら他の流派の研究も欠かしておらぬ。それに父に言われていたのだ。
And obviously we know Master Yun is Annalise's, what is it, grandfather?
そなたが剣の道を志すならば、いずれ八葉の者と出会うだろうと。
Wow.
光の継承が光栄というか恐れ多いというか。俺はただの書伝止まりさ。確かに一時期ユン老師に指示していたこともある。だが剣の道に限界を感じて老師から修行を打ち切られた身だ。だから別に手を抜いてるわけじゃないんだ。八葉の名を汚しているのは重々わかっているけど、これが俺の限界だ。誤解させたのならすまない。ラウラ？
そなた自身の問題だ。私に謝る必要はない。いい稽古相手が見つかったと思ったのだがな。
Oh boy.
少し外で素振りをしてくる。悪いが先にアリサたちとレポートをまとめていてくれ。
Oh, so they watched the whole thing.
いろいろあるみたいね。何か抱えているような顔はたまにしていたけど。
アリサも気づいてたんだ。なんだかんだ言って結構気にしてたみたいだね。
それは謝るチャンスを伺ってて、別に意識してたとかそういうのじゃないんだからね。
でも何かを抱えてるのは誰だって同じなんじゃないかな。君だってそうじゃないの？
それは。
Yep, she's hiding stuff
そう
too.
ね。
There's a lot about these characters that we're going to learn about as time goes on.
おっと、ランクアップしたわね。ご褒美をあげなきゃね。この調子で頑張りなさい。
So it definitely seems like a mental thing with Reen. Like, Laura can definitely see past his whole, like, oh, you know, I'm not really holding back, but it could just be a subconscious thing where he is holding back because of how he feels about, you know, his own skill level. Here are your tasks for the day. The market manager left them with me. Thank you. Alright. What do we got? Oh, wow. There's only 2 optional ones. There's no mandatory ones. Lost wallet. Yesterday I found a wallet on the floor in front of my stall. Would someone be willing to find its owner for me? Okay. Over by the ceramic stall. And then another monster. Okay. It's not much. Huh, even fewer than yesterday. Maybe he gave us less work to do because he knew we were going back to Trista today? Sounds about right. He is a very considerate man. The last train headed your way leaves around 9 tonight. You get those done quickly enough, you can have dinner before you leave. Haha, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your kindness. Shall we get started then? Sounds good. Looks like today's tasks are all optional. Hey Laura, I wanted to apologize for what I said to you yesterday evening. Reen. As I told you then, this is a matter you must come to terms with on your own. It is not something for which an apology is required. That's not really what I meant. I wanted to apologize for making light of the way of the sword. What I said about being a dropout who's never been able to progress past beginner level was disrespectful. Master Kafai to the school I follow, and to the path of the sword itself. And for those reasons, I feel like it was inappropriate of me to say what I said, so I'm sorry. If that's the case, then there is one other person you should be apologizing to as well. I can't pretend to know much about your personal circumstances, but regardless of one's background or social standing, one should always be able to live with pride in himself or herself. Thus, if you truly did make light of yourself and your own abilities, that is an act of shame in which you owe yourself recompense. Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Reen. Do you like the path of the sword? It's not really a matter of liking it or disliking it, I don't think. It's a part of my life, an inseparable part of who I am. That's all I wanted to hear. I feel exactly the same way. Laura. So, you two are friends again, then? Were we not? There was never any rift between us that I knew about. Indeed, this was all handled rather neatly, I felt. You're both so simple-minded. I feel like an idiot spending so much time trying to devise a plan to get the two of you to make up. Whoa, you did what now? It would seem we caused you undue concern. Geez, can we just forget about this and move on? Looks like the ground's dried after the rainfall, so to speak. Glad to see you all looking a bit less gloomy. Margaret, we've got trouble. Big trouble. Oh boy, what now? Slow down, Louise. It's first thing in the morning. You're about poised to wake the dead. You're making such a commotion. Where have you been anyway? You're late. I'm sorry I got caught up on the way here. But never mind that. We have big trouble. Something terrible happened over at the market. Something terrible, you say? What terrible thing has happened exactly? Well, it sounds like it actually took place last night. 2 of the stalls over at the market were destroyed and all their merchandise was stolen. That is most terrible indeed. A robbery? Oh my. I suppose that means the market might be opening late today. Which means we could end up with more customers as people wait here for a resolution, Louise. Let's get this place ready. You got it. As for you, Ford, this is our problem, not yours. You just focus on your field study and leave this incident to us locals. You have your own tasks to worry about, after all. Of course. We'll be back later. Thanks again. You know, you say that, but I think we're gonna end up being more involved than you'd expect. What should we do? I have to admit, I'm curious. It's not far, so we may as well just go take a look. Alright, let's take a slight detour to see what's happening at the market then. Yeah, I think we'll see what's happening at the market and then we'll probably end things for the video. Hey, you play music just like Elliot. Oh, how sorrowful. One's peaceful hearts have now turned wild. Worry not, though, for I shall find their lost fragments of love. Feel free to fall for me, for it is only natural. Okay. Let's take a look. I'm sorry, the Grand Market isn't quite open for business yet. Oh, it's the students from yesterday. Good morning. Opening late today after all, I see. Afraid so. Guess you already know about the robbery from yesterday, huh? The two merchants whose stalls were destroyed are still arguing about it. You bastard! You're not gonna get away with this! Oh no. Oh no, not them. The manager came to try and break them up, but he doesn't seem to be having much luck. I hope no one ends up getting hurt. What should we do, Reen? Or maybe we could try talking to them? Considering everything that happened yesterday, you just might be the cavalry we need right now. Would you mind? Not at all. Let's go. How dare you destroy my stall, you damn coward. I knew you country folk weren't to be trusted. Who else could it have been? Just come clean and admit it already. Who are you calling a coward, you... Oh boy. Heimdallerian snot. You're the one who wanted my spot all for yourself. Calm down, gentlemen, please. Playing all innocent, trying to paint me as a bad guy here, you make me sick. What do you say we settle this right here and now? Bring it on. Hold it. Class 7? You kids again? Keep your noses out of this. I'm gonna make him pay for smashing my stall. Smashing? Yeah, it is pretty torn up. Both of them, though. Wow, they really... How can you see that? Isn't that at the back? How do you see that from here? Wow, they really are completely ruined. This is awful. However, harming one another is not going to bring them back. In the end, they will still be smashed, and you will be worse off. But this anger isn't going to go away unless I do something. He took all my goods too, so I haven't even got anything to sell. What are you talking about? You were the one who stole my goods. And you're going to give them all back right now and fix the damage you did to my stall, or else I can't be held responsible for my actions. This isn't good. I don't think they're even listening to a word we're saying. What do we do? Stop this at once. Oh wow, are they actually stepping in? The Provincial Army? What? What is the meaning of this? It's the middle of the morning. Stop this nonsense immediately. But, I believe you are the one in charge here? I demand an explanation as to what has transpired. Well, you see, the market manager explained to the Provincial Army officer what had happened the previous night. I see. Solution is simple, men. It is simple then. Men, take them away. Yes, sir. What? What? What do you mean, take us away? The two stalls were destroyed, 2 sets of goods were stolen. The truth is as clear as day. 2 merchants in the midst of a heated disagreement committed the same crime at the same time. How is that even possible? They would have seen each other. That's not fair. Do you not think it premature to draw such a conclusion without any investigation? The Provincial Army doesn't have time to waste solving the petty squabbles of merchants. But I'm not an unreasonable man. Cease your dispute and you'll be left alone. Continue and you will come with us. The choice is yours. They're trying to force both merchants to forget this ever happened, to sweep the whole ordeal under the rug. Yeah, something about this seems really wrong. Ugh. Gah. Very good then. I'm sure you can agree that wasting time on shenanigans like this is detrimental to all parties involved. And I hope you'll think twice before causing such a ruckus again. Now, if you please excuse us, I'm a busy man and I have more pressing matters to attend to. I feel like they don't do anything. We haven't seen them do anything since we've been here. Seems they just go around, you know, waving their authority around. There they go. Well, I guess they did stop the two from fighting, but they did nothing to solve the underlying problem. This isn't right. I see now how the provincial army here conducts itself. I'm sure you're both still pretty angry about this, but right now, the two of you need to focus on keeping cool-headed. If you have the time to fight, try to use that time for something more productive instead. You'll feel a lot better. Yeah. I shouldn't have let my anger take control of me like that. We can't open the Grand Market for business until we've cleaned up those busted stalls. And we're already running late, so I hate to ask, but would you all mind lending me a hand? Market Manager Otto, with assistance from the merchants of the market, cleared away the remains of the two stalls. And with the help of Rena and the others on top of that, the Grand Market was finally able to open for the day, albeit behind schedule. Thanks to you four, we were able to open the Grand Market for business a bit quicker than I'd expected. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am. Oh, there's no need for that. We barely did anything. I'm just glad no one got hurt. All the more reason to thank you. The merchant's stall is his livelihood. Any action taken against that can throw him into a blind rage, and it's hard to bring someone back from that. It would seem the problems facing the merchants of this town are quite grave indeed. The provincial army may have intervened, but it's difficult to believe they'd make no attempts to find an amicable solution. Quite right. It's clearer than ever now that they have no intention of trying to resolve any issues involving the market. Yep. And I can't see that changing unless we decide to just accept the sales tax and increase and keep quiet about it. Still, you'd think they'd be a little more subtle about the whole thing. There's no way those two merchants are just going to accept this and move on. No, I don't suppose they will. And if word gets out about this, it's not inconceivable for certain groups to begin boycotting the marketplace. Something definitely has to be done, I'm just not sure what. Is something wrong, Reen? You're awfully quiet. Are you feeling unwell? Sir, I have a favor to ask. Would you consider allowing us to investigate this morning's incident? What? Are you suggesting we attempt to find the perpetrator who destroyed the merchant stalls ourselves? It's a kind offer, but as I said yesterday, this is our affair, not yours. You're students, you have your own studies to worry about, and I wouldn't feel right interfering with them. We're students training for the military, though. We can't just stand by and allow something so unjust to go unchallenged. It's the provincial army's responsibility to address this, sure, but they're shirking their duties here, and that reflects poorly on us all. Well, that's true enough, I guess. But do you really think we're up for something like this? I kind of have to wonder about that too. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just amateurs. We should at least check with Instructor Sarah and see what she thinks. She's already told us. Put your heads together and think, and I'm sure you'll see what you need to do. Her words. It seems like exactly the sort of thing she meant. At least it does to me. Oh. I see your point. Perhaps matters such as this may fall under the scope of our field study after all. Yeah, you do make a good case. I'm still not sure we're up to it, but I guess it can't hurt to try. Neither seek nor shun the fight. Very well, we shall do what we can. Are you really sure about this? I'm certainly not going to say no. I'm very concerned about the market and the safety of our merchants. So if you're 100% sure, I have to admit, I would truly appreciate anything you can do for us. Thank you, sir. We'll do everything in our power to find answers for you. Just be careful. Don't go seeking out trouble. I don't want you kids being put in danger. We're dealing with a criminal who acts under the cover of night. He may be capable of a lot more than just thievery and vandalism. Remember, I'm responsible for your safety. If anything happens to you, I couldn't even look Vandik in the eye anymore. We'll be careful, we promise. I know I will, at least. I probably need to be more careful than anyone else here. Now that that's settled, we should act quickly. Yes, let's get this investigation started. So first things first, we need to decide where to start investigating. The logical starting point would be the Grand Market itself, the scene of the crime. Can't argue with that. We should probably get some statements from the two merchants before anything else. Indeed, I anticipate they've calmed themselves by now, so perhaps we can get something a bit more substantial from them. We still have to ascertain their innocence or guilt in the matter as well. We'll need to keep a close eye on the time, though. If we miss the last train towards Heimdallar, we'll have no way of getting back to the academy today. Plus, we've been given other tasks too, and I'd really like to get them done. In short, we need to keep moving. Our deadline is 9 p.m. Let's use every minute we have to accomplish everything we possibly can. Understood. You bet. Right. And with that, we do have our first incident on our hands. Someone has destroyed the 2 stalls. And it's pretty obvious, even right out of the gate, like whether you played this game before or not, that neither of the 2 merchants are going to be responsible for this. It's definitely someone who wanted this to seem like one of the, or even both of them, just, you know, they already were angry at each other, so as a way of getting revenge on each other, they destroyed each other's stalls. But it would be way too convenient if it was one of them, you know. If it was one of them and they were just like, oh, I destroyed my own stall as well to, like, cover up my tracks, like, that would just be way too convenient. So, next time we're going to take on our optional field studies as well as looking into this whole situation. So, that's going to be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.